Okay, guys, Saturday evening, and we are going live. So this is going to be a regular thing now. We are live. In fact, let me just put the banner up as well, so you know we are live across Instagram and YouTube. So if you're not on my YouTube channel, do make sure that you go and subscribe there. One of the things there's a few things we're going to be going into tonight. If you've already played this weekend, I want to hear your successes, what you want to improve upon. If you're yet to play, what you're going to be working on, and what you want to achieve in your game that you're playing. But even if you're watching the catch up, still, I want to hit. This is going to be obviously on YouTube. There won't be a catch up on Instagram, I don't think. If there is, great, comment on there. But on YouTube, wherever you're watching the catch up, still, I want to hear successes from your game, things that you want to improve upon, maybe things that didn't go so well that you know that you need to brush up on, things like that. So that's what we're looking to achieve with this session. So yeah, I'm going to open it up to the comments. So as I said, this is going out across YouTube and Instagram. I don't think I'm getting the Instagram. Um, yeah, no, there I go. There I go. The nightmare thing is I've got to scroll from YouTube to Instagram to see who's on. But okay. Okay, I don't even know what's happening there. So it will take me a while to get used to it. But yeah, so as you'll know, the YouTube channel, hopefully you know now, the YouTube channel is really starting to ramp up. There's some really good resources on there for players to utilize. And I know that some of you guys have been using that. And let me just make sure I've got the Instagram up at the same time. Your boy Ari. Here we go. See, so if I'm missing things on Instagram, so if I can try and so this will be seamless as we go forward. But at this moment in time, I'm trying to juggle two things. So and it won't be this way. Um, Amateur, absolute amateur. Let me just make that a bit smaller. So there we go. Got them both up. Brilliant. Your boy Ari. Thank you very much. Big up back to you yourself as well. Liking the new hairstyle. Yeah. Do you know what? Something I'm meaning to do for some time. And bit the bullet. Off it goes. But yeah. So as I said, big things going to be going forward for the YouTube side now. Um, Obviously, everything's going to be live here on Instagram as well, both of them. Um, and let me hear. Okay, good. Need any help? You know. Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. Um, but yeah, as I said, there's big things going to be happening on both these sides, both the YouTube side and the Instagram side, just for the lives. But all the resources, pretty much, apart from a few things that I'm putting out here and there on Instagram, everything's going to be held on YouTube. And what I want you to get involved in, if you're a player, is having that understanding that knowledge and your understanding of things is good, but on top of we want more than that. Knowledge is good, but we need to instill these things so they are a part of how we naturally operate. So, for example, there will be things that you want to improve from your game. If we take those big, broad things, you might want to improve your confidence. You might want to um, respond better to um, social media negativity or whatever it might be. Now you will know you'll know the right things to do. You might you get the knowledge and the understanding of doing that, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean any. Well, it means very little until you get that automatic and instinctive habit of doing what that understanding says to do. If you and this is where on the YouTube channel I've been plugging this for a little bit now, and I will continue to do this. Is that there's going to be a lot of guided meditations, and there's the interactive training visualizations, and I'll come on to what they are in a minute. if there aren't any questions. If you've got any questions of anything, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be going into what the guided meditations, or the difference between the guided meditations and the ITV, so the interactive training visualizations, what the differences are, how you can utilize them to take every level of your game to the next level. But you'll see on there right now, you've got this. I think I did I've done a few recently, but I've done an Iniesta one that went on a couple of days ago, maybe even last night. So a good one for midfielders, but there's lots going on around specific players. So there was a Ramos one for the defenders that went on recently, and there's going to be lots of other ones around players, but also individual little things that players want to improve upon as well. And the way they work is like this. So guided meditations and the interactive training visualizations. The guided meditations are they're a little bit longer, maybe 10, 15 minutes long. You can utilize these as part of recovery. So they will relax you. So they're they're guided meditations that will relax you and make you feel at ease. But the difference here is what they're there for is to help condition different things within you. So it's a combination between meditation, visualization, and hypnosis. So all three of those things put into one to help to condition you to achieve the outcomes of the knowledge video. So all the videos on the YouTube channel will be around helping you understand the knowledge, and then the conditioning meditation is a relaxing session, so you can listen to them and relax. The nice thing about this is certainly a lot of the players at the moment, a lot of the professional players are having Saturday games, Tuesday games, Saturday, Tuesday games. So there's not a lot of time to develop in terms of doing extras or anything like that. With these, you get to keep that continued improvement within your game. So it's a really, really important thing to do. Also, I see that ProX has just joined, so I'm going to explain a little bit around what we're doing with them in just a moment as well, or some massive stuff. But yeah, so you've got the meditation side, but then you've also got the interactive training visualizations, and these are massive, massive. So the way that how they differ is the meditation is more relaxing. The interactive training visualizations are a lot shorter. So we're talking here 3 or 4 minutes long. And what I'd expect from you with listening to these is that you're fully focused, fully immersed in listening to these sessions. So you've got your headphones on, you listen to the sessions. They're like the guided meditations, but they're much more upbeat. They're much more intense. So my voice is guiding you on everything that we want you to become within the game, in terms of like maybe the mental side, the confidence, the focus, the awareness, and that kind of thing. And then throughout the session, I'll be asking you to pause the video. And this is all on YouTube. You'll be pausing the video and you'll be going through a visualization of what I'm telling you to go through. So as I said, I did an Iniesta one. That was just a guided meditation, but the interactive training visualization that will be produced this week around that, maybe I'll do something like, feel that confidence, that drive and determination, brilliant awareness that you have. Now, I want you to imagine receiving the ball on the half turn or something like that. Or I want you to run through a visualization of receiving the ball from the defense, and then all you do, press that pause button and you run through a visualization of, imagine it's like what Iniesta would do, or what you would do, or what you would do after becoming this Iniesta figure now, or bringing his attributes into your game. What would you do now? And just running yourself through, and press the play button, and then I'm feeding you again in terms of that focus, that awareness, and everything else that we want you to achieve as part of what would be the Iniesta interactive training visualization. So that's how they differ. And as I said, there's going to be the player specific ones. There's also going to be attribute specific, tactical specific, technical specific, psychological, mental specific, all these different ones that are going to help to take a really, really big resource that will help to take every area of your game to the next level. And the great thing about this is these are the things that I do with the professional football players that I work with. Now, if you go to markbowden.com, I've started to add some testimonials in there. So you'll see the kind of caliber of player that I work with. Not every player lets me put on a testimonial. Not every player lets me say that I've worked with them. A lot of the work that I do is highly confidential, just because the player, just wants to keep it confidential. And work with some very, very high level players. But if you've gone to that website there, you'll see that, I still, even on that page, there's a lot of Premier League players that are on that page as well. So yes, I was going to say, wasn't like Pro-X and ATEC. So big thing, big things coming forward with myself, the Fearless Football brand of myself. Then you've got Sam at Pro-X and Aaron at ATEC. And what we are looking at doing, or what we are doing now, and again, this one we'll go into this a lot more as we go forward. But this is more aimed at the pro players. But we're doing something that's never been done in the game before, as far as I'm aware. Even if it has been done, it's never been done to this level that we are doing it. So it's a threefold approach, taking individual players, and we are taking a very small number. We're already in talks with a lot of high-profile agents, a lot of high-profile players. When we release, I think it's Sam knows more than I do at Pro-X, but the date that we're going to take the players on, those spaces will go as soon as we put it out, and to be honest, they'll be gone by then. And it's a three-pronged approach. So I'm dealing with that mental side. Sam is dealing with the coaching on pitch, physical side, and Aaron at ATEC is dealing with the analysis side. So looking into the player, really focusing in on the specifics of, and again, this is not my expertise in my area. So forgive me, Aaron, if I'm butchering this, but Aaron will look into the ins and outs of that individual's game, look for ways of things that can be changed within their game, things that can be changed, things that can be slightly adapted and improved that will make a big difference to their game. So, he's done this for a lot of big players, and this is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And the three of us, it's not like three separate things. The three of us are going to be very much working together to provide that real synergistic approach to getting players to really hit that next level, and beyond that. There's a lot of reasons that will benefit the player, and everybody else obviously associated to that player. So yep, that is that. But as I said, if you're watching this on the rerun, I don't think this is going to be going out on a rerun on the YouTube. On the Instagram. I think it will only go out on a rerun on the YouTube. If it's on the Instagram, still make a comment. Let me know, what's going well, what you want to improve upon, any questions you've got around your game, etc. We'll look to do different things, and I'll assist you with what I can on that. Your boy Harry, Reece Nelson being one of them. Oh yeah, cool. Yep. So yes, that's cool. He's right. So as I said, there's a lot of players that I work with and have worked with that haven't. It's a very confidential thing, obviously, what I do some of the time. And but Reece Nelson is on my website as being one of the guys that I work with. Lovely guy, brilliant player, brilliant guy. When you finish the live, it'll give you an option to post it as a post. Yeah, do you know what? I think it will. I think you're right, but I'm doing this in a different way. And the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is, so I'm using something called StreamYard. So I'm on live now in this one stream, going to YouTube and to Instagram. And I did a test earlier. So the first time I did a test earlier, End of the stream. I don't think anything came up on Instagram. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully. Charlie's got a game tomorrow. What can I do to prepare in the morning? Okay, really good question. Really good question. And a trap there that you could potentially fall into. So let's not let you fall into this trap. And I know this trap. Oops, I'm just kicking the camera there. This is a trap that many players can fall into the morning of a game, and that is to switch on too early. That's the first thing, because I was speaking to a manager quite recently, and we were going through a few things about what he does with his team before the game. And this isn't in your local leagues or anything. This is a higher level, and he was saying that when they have breakfast together, he's telling his players to switch on. If they're a little bit looking like they're laughing and joking, and not eyes about the game or not thinking about the game, he would be telling them, hey, come on, we've got a serious game day, focus in now. So with breakfast, think of it, let me give you the analogy of this, right? So you imagine 9 o'clock in the morning, imagine you've got a 3 o'clock kickoff, 9 o'clock in the morning, your manager says, right, okay guys, up we get, we're doing a 3-mile run, then we're going to do some shuttles, then we're going to do some rondos and whatever you guys do, all that kind of thing. I mean, that would be ludicrous. Now, why do some managers think that you don't burn energy mentally when you're starting to get focused and immersed in things? Because you do. So inside your brain, when you're thinking, when you're immersed, when you're focused, and you're getting that kind of intensity about your thinking, especially when you're focusing on a game, your brain is burning glucose. Now, when you get to the actual game itself, after having that preparation of, I'm switched on at 9 o'clock because my manager's told me to, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock comes, I'm going to be mentally exhausted. So what I will say, Charlie, is the biggest thing that you want to do is not be thinking about the game at all. If the game comes into your brain, it should only ever be on your terms. If it's not on your terms, you get rid of it. And what I mean by that is, if you think to yourself, right, okay, I'm just going to spend a bit of time, have a little think about the game, how I'm going to play, what do I want to achieve, that's fine, because you want to start thinking about that. If all of a sudden you're having breakfast and the game started to come into your head, that's not on your terms. Now we need to just refocus. Maybe we, drum up a bit of conversation with anybody that's around us, or we just take our mind away. We go for a walk. We immerse ourselves in the world, in nature, but we do anything but focusing in on the game. Some of the other things, a lot of players will say will be focusing in and saying to me, right, what do I do? What are the tips? What are the techniques I need to do? I've got a game starting this afternoon. What you need to be doing now in terms of things like improving your confidence and your focus and your concentration really aren't for today. Everything that you've got in your locker is already there. So these things that of course there are things that you can be doing, thinking about your body language, thinking about what you are focusing on and that kind of thing. But there are no magic pills to clicking your fingers and having more confidence, or clicking your fingers and becoming a better player I say overnight, over a few hour period. What we've got to be doing if I've got a game tomorrow, I've got to trust myself. Yeah, Charlie, you have to trust yourself. When you go into your game, you've just got to know that everything you've done, you're in a very good place to perform. If that doubt comes in, now wherever your ability is, wherever your potential to perform is, if you're at that point and you go into the game, there's your ability, and that doubt comes in, your potential to perform comes down. If you go into that game now and you're second guessing yourself, and all this stuff's coming in, that potential is now coming down. You can't play over your ability, but you can play to your ability. And the way to do that is go into that game tomorrow and just trust yourself. Allow yourself to trust in that player that you are. Improvements and developments, they do not come in the morning of a game. They don't come the night before a game. Of course, you can be looking at, if you're a professional player, you may have clips of the opposition and you can start thinking about, right, how do I'm going to play? There's a bit of visualization here. You're thinking about, right, how am I going to dominate this player now? What does he do? Where are his strengths that I'm going to nullify? Where are his weaknesses that I'm going to dominate? Again, you want to be here. You want to be looking at where you're going to do what you're going to do. Not if you're looking at their strengths, it's how you're going to nullify those strengths. How are you going to develop your game and what you're going to do around your game to beat that. What we never want to do is be looking at their strengths in awe. This guy, oh my God, he's really good. I know for a fact that there was a championship team last season, and I won't give the manager out or the team or anything, but a championship team, and the manager would go into every preparation leading up to the game. He would go into the match day. So everything would be focused around the opposition, but not, because that's absolutely fine. Of course, it's around the opposition, but it's got to be around how you are going to dominate. What are you going to do? Where are their strengths that you're going to nullify? Where are the weaknesses that you're going to dominate? And all these kind of things. What this manager was doing was just telling about how great they are. Wow, look how good they are there. And all of a sudden now, that the team, the manager, as I said, I can't say who they are, but they then go into this this game, and what are they thinking? They've got this team that they're now in awe of. Their red brain has been fed things of how good they are, and really now all they're thinking about is the impossible task. And rather now than playing and going in and trusting themselves and identifying opportunities and doing all these things that they know that they can do and how they should do things, they're going into that game, red brain, pulling down that potential for their performance. So so that is it's crazy. It's crazy the fact that at championship level, that was being done every single week. But as again, I can't say who the club was, but I'm sure there's a lot of players that follow me that are that play for the club. So if they see it, they'll know exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, any other questions, or even around that preparation? So going into the game as well, there's another thing that you can do, and again, it's about developing this as well. So you can do this straight away without much preparation, but you've got to hone this as well. So think of it like this: you, the player, you didn't start playing football yesterday. You started playing many, many years ago, and the player that you are is trained. It is the way you control the ball, the way you shoot, the way you pass, the way you utilize your awareness, checking your shoulders. A lot of that is so conditioned into you, it is now automatic, and it is now very, very much instinctive. It's a part of how you naturally operate. And I like to kind of call it you, the footballer. So that is you, the footballer. This trained, automatic, instinctive player that you do not really, somebody might say you might do a brilliant bit of skill on automatic instinct. Maybe you go one way or the other way and you put the ball in the top corner. If you're a pro player, maybe you get talked to, somebody says on Sky Sports in the interview, always going for your head. And you always hear them saying what was going, they kind of like say, they don't really know what was going on inside their head. They went one way, they went the other way, they put in the top corner, and really that was them, the footballer. The problem is this. So this is part of your unconscious. So when you do anything over and over and over again, it strengthens and grows the neural pathways in your brain so much that it becomes a habit. It becomes automatic. Once one player comes this way, you automatically drop your shoulder and go the other way. without thinking about it. You know, it's if I say, get up now and go and turn the light off, you'll go and turn the light off. But what you won't be thinking about is your legs walking up, did it? Because it's just, that happens, doesn't it? It's natural, it's automatic, it's a conditioned thing that you're very, very good at now, is walking. But once you start thinking to yourself, okay, I want you to go and turn the light off, but let's think about how your legs move. Left, right, left, right, left, right. It makes you walk really awkward, because what you're doing is you're bringing the trained, brilliant ability of your that's conditioned within you into your conscious brain, where it has no place. And how does this apply to your football? So going into the game tomorrow, if you're trying it, and you hear coaches say it, you know, focus on the ball, or focus on your first touch, or focus on, you know, the connection with the ball, that's potentially not great advice, because a lot of that is automatically instinctive. If you're focusing on the way your foot is going to touch the ball, so you're consciously thinking about that, that's something that's very unconscious. If And what you're not doing then is thinking about, you know, your second move, your third move, your fourth move, where the team is around you, where the opposition is, where the opportunities are to exploit once you get the ball, or, you know, two steps ahead. So if instead you just, you know, you've got that bigger open view, so you're, rather than being stepping on the toes of this unconscious, instead you're just thinking about playing with intensity, or you start thinking about being dialed in, being focused, being immersed in the game. Now that ball comes to you, it's not like, oh, your mind's somewhere else. No, your mind is engrossed within the game. Now the ball comes into you and you're thinking, right, okay, intensity, focus, awareness. Now your foot has touched the ball, and if there's a player that's come in out, you know, off your shoulder or something, you've turned him. You haven't thought, oh, there's a player coming in. Therefore, what I'm going to do now is turn the ball, take it on my left foot now, use my right foot, and do this. Of course, you're not. You know what I mean? It's too much for your conscious brain to think about. So many players get this so wrong, especially when those stress levels go up, especially when that confidence levels go down. They start overthinking every precise little thing that has no place in their conscious brain. And what you need to be doing is just thinking about those things where you're not stepping on the toes of that trained and conditioned ability. It's one of the big things that I go into with the players that I work one-to-one with. So we just need to play to the limits of what we're about. That's a long answer, and we probably could go on even further, Charlie. So I hope that kind of assists a little bit, but we do need to be thinking as we go forward now, your preparation for, you know, next season starts tomorrow or after the game. Do you know what I mean? Or your preparation for next month's game, it starts now. Your preparation for tomorrow's game is gone now. Now you've just got to focus on bringing out everything that you can bring out, going forward for that. Okay, brilliant. So I don't know if anybody else has got any questions, any successes from their game today, anything that they want to think they could improve upon. Charlie, again, thank you. I think these are the mistakes I've been making. Is it all right? Okay, is it all right if I DM you how I get on tomorrow? Charlie, yeah, I'd love that, mate. Yeah, send me a DM, let me know how you get on. Also, like I said, I'm going to be doing these on a more regular basis. So, you know, I'd love to see you on here again. Let me know on the live stream as well how you're getting on and what you're doing. And the fact that you said the mistakes that you've been making, they're mistakes that players at every single level of the game make, every single level. Let me know what level you're playing at the moment as well. I'd like to know that. But like I said, you know, the majority of my players that I work with are Premier League and Championship players. And I'll tell you this right now, everything that I'm talking about now, I work with my players in the Premier League with this kind of thing. And you know, it's not a mistake. It's how that brain works. It's how we work. You know, if we're riding that crest of a wave, confidence is sky high. we get everything right. We naturally and automatically get everything right. So our brain works. The problem comes where our confidence drops, or we make a mistake, or we're not playing so well, or the media are having a go at us, or social media, or this, and all these kind of things. Now the brain naturally reacts in a very different way. So it's a controversial one, but I've got something around Cristiano Ronaldo as well. I think he is absolutely incredible mindset, incredible application to what he does and how he's done things. But if you think about it throughout his game, everything is always fitted into what he wants to achieve. So he was the top young player at Sporting. Then he went to Man United, where the team was almost based around him. He was the main guy. Then he goes to Real Madrid. He's the main guy. Then he goes to Juventus. Then he's the main guy. Then he goes to Man United, and things aren't going that well. And we know what happened there. So even the very, very best players, when things don't go their way, it's a hard thing, especially if they're not aware of how that brain works. But who am I really to say that about Cristiano? Because okay, he's been the main guy, but still, what we're talking about, these ups and downs, they don't happen across a club to a club to a club. These ups and downs happen in a season, they happen in a month, they happen in a game. You can have these ups and downs in a game, and he has always managed himself impeccably. So, but I just wanted to just kind of show you that no one's bulletproof to this stuff. Everybody has the fragility and the potential to let it get to them. No matter who you are, the very, very best players in the world who are brilliant physically and brilliant mentally. So, and it is all, I'm sure, I mean, I don't know who or if he worked with anybody, but this is why it's always great to work with somebody on this. And my YouTube channel obviously is for you guys as well, so utilize that. But even when you know things, just to be helped along that way, that guidance to making sure things are continue to go the right way. Even when you know that you should be doing the right things, sometimes we just need our hands held, to go through these things sometimes, knowing that the person holding your hand is taking you in that right direction and doing the right things with you to help you to stay consistent and doing the right things. Your boy, interesting to hear about conditioned brain and thinking about it with the light example, Mark. Yeah, thank you. No, appreciate that. Yep, cool. Got to go now, Mark. Interesting listening to you. Always want to learn more about the psychological side of the game. Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? It's massive. Always, Ari, always appreciate your support. Somebody who's always been supporting my stuff when it's gone out. So superstar. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. So Charlie again, currently playing local, but I have a scouting event I'm going to in the 1st December. So I'm just going to focus on the positives. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, let's take that a little bit further. So I'll give you a little bit more of assistance around that. So positive thinking is good. Let's be positive. Let's think positive. But there's a better level than positive, because let me put it in this way for you. I think I wrote this in my book as well. So I want to shamelessly plug my book here as well for those who are still listening. But Use Your Brain, Raise Your Game: The Professional Footballer's Guide to Peak Performance is on Amazon. If you guys wanted to take a look at it, been read by hundreds and hundreds of pro players and got really, really good feedback, and a lot of players at every level as well. Just it's around how that brain works from a football performance point of view and how to get the best out of it. But where was I? Oh yeah, cool. So positive thinking. So I remember, I can't remember remember that you've got the All or Nothing series. So you had You've had the Man City one, you've had the Arsenal one, but there was one before. It might have even been the Sunderland one. I think it was whoever it was. It was an early one. It was quite a low level, as in at the time they were low level. I'm sure it was Sunderland, but it could have been someone else. But it wasn't one of the Premier League teams, and they were. I think they were Championship at the time. But it just kind of really illustrates sometimes how the positive thinking can be a little bit fragile. Now, if you can positive think and be unwavering in your positive thinking, then it's fine. Don't even listen to this. The problem is we cannot be, most of us can't be unwavering. And here was the thing. So this all or nothing, and some of you guys might remember it, that it started with pre-season, and whoever the team was, I think it was Sunderland, but they were fancy to be promoted that season. And their first friendly game, they had a really positive dressing room. You know, we're going to beat these, we're going to dominate this team, we're going to be this, we're going to be that. They lost in a preseason friendly. Then I think the next preseason friendly again, the dressing room really positive. We're going to dominate. We're going to win. We're going to this, and they lost. Third game, you know, starting to wear thin a bit now. Oh yeah, we're going to this. It's like, yes, I'm hearing what you're saying, but the evidence is actually. We said this last time and we got dominated ourselves and we lost. And we said the time before, and they went out and they lost again. That whole season, they got relegated. So tell me, let me know if you remember what it was. But I think it was Sunderland. But the whole point of this is positivity is great when you're being positive, but quite often you cannot be. What I like to think is empowered thinking. So what we do, and what I mean by this, rather than positive thinking, we're empowered thinking. So we're looking here at reframing. So framing any situation and empowering ourselves. So this can be questions, it can be geeing yourself up, it can be taking yourself to the next level. I mean, I'll give you a really, really kind of like a real spot on example of this from when I've been working with one of my players, and this is going back a good few years ago now, and this is where you'll see just can't apply positive thinking to it. So I was working with my players, and his granddad died in the week before we were leading up to the into the session. Now, you can't be positive around grieving anyway. There's a different process to go through when it comes to grieving. You have to grieve before you move on. You know, with some things, it's like, right, forget it, just let's go, let's make things happen, let's drive forward. But when it comes to big things like this, because he's very close to his granddad, you have to grieve. You have to process this information before then you move on to, okay, I've grieved, process, now I move on. But anyway, so we were looking at this anyway, and where's the positive about someone you're close to passing away? There isn't. I mean, there is not a positive there. Where's the reframe? Where's the empowered thinking? So we looked at the situation a bit, and his granddad got to see him play in the Premier League, you know? So, I mean, okay, that could be a positive. We could see that as a positive, I suppose. But, you know, but the actual fact of his granddad dying wasn't. But the way that we took this forward as empowering him is as he had a moment to process it, to bear me 1 second. Yeah, as he was so I just received a text from one of my players there who got injured today, unfortunately. Top guy, top player. But anyway, yes. So empowered around what he was thinking, what he was doing. So what? Yeah. Sorry, took my mind right away from that there. But empowered thinking around his granddad passing. What he was going to do now is utilize his memory in every training session, utilize his memory in every time he played a game. So he was going to be, like I said, there's no positive around the death, but it's empowered thinking. And really, every situation that happens is there's a fact and there's our perception around it. So let's take the manager leaves you out. What's the fact? The manager's left you out. What's your perception say? Whatever. All kinds of things potentially. He's left me out because he wants to give me a rest. He's left me out because I had a bad game. He's left me out because he doesn't rate me. He's left me out because he's brought that new player up from the under-23s now, and I think he thinks he's going to take me on. He's left me out because the directors see another player, or there's politics involved. He's left me out because there's perception. There's perception. The only thing that is going to do, perception, is whether it is empowered or disempowered. What we've got to use is, right, that's the fact. What am I going to do? Am I just going to forget that and move on? Fine, if you can. Or is that going to impact upon me? If it's going to impact upon me, I better make sure it empowers me. It doesn't drop my game. It doesn't drop my levels. It makes sure that I continue my progress. I continue my great performances. How do I do that? So empowered thinking is, I don't know, could be whatever it means for you, whatever that looks like for you. So that empowered thinking could be, what could it be? It could be, I'm going to show him how good I am. I'm going to make sure that I'm the first name on the team sheet. I'm going to take my game to the next level. I don't know. Whatever it is for that individual to empower themselves in that situation. So, yeah, anyway, I think I've probably gone on quite a lot. As I said, I'm going to do more of these lives. Do come onto my YouTube channel, Fearless Footballer, and make sure, leave some questions there, because what I'll do is when I have these lives, if you're not on the live, I'll answer some of the questions there for you as well. So, Charlie, got to go now. So have I as well, mate. So that's cool. But I'm going to be on here regularly, so I look forward to telling you how I do, and so do I. I look forward to hearing, mate. But anyway, yes, you got to go. I got to go. Good night, all.